Welcome back to Sarah Creations. If you're new to the channel, welcome as well. In this week's video, we're going to be building a simple edge grain cutting board out of majority maple and I think probably 2 strips of walnut. Let's get to it. So this is the wood I plan on using. Got the maple walnut here. I'm only going to be making one. Well, honestly, I'll see how much wood I get out, or how many strips of wood I get out from just these 2 pieces here. But I'm gonna be making it just to have it as stock, and then I'll probably take it to a market, a local market, sometime hopefully here in the springtime. So first thing we gotta do is I'm going to take it to the miter saw, and then I'm going to cut my lengths, how long I want it. I usually cut, how long do I do? I think I'm gonna cut 19 inches, and then that'll give me an inch to play when gluing it up, and then I'll cut off the end of the cutting board to make it square. Yeah, so we'll cut to length, and then we're going to run it through the joiner. No, sorry, we're gonna run it through the planer first, and then we're gonna run it through the joiner, and then we're gonna cut strips, and then we'll glue it all together. I've already marked where I want to cut over at the bench, so just gonna rip these cuts, and then we'll move on to the next step. These are the pieces of wood that I'm working with now. I might be able to get 2 boards out of this. I'm not planning on it still, but for only using a little bit of walnut, I have a lot. So next step, we're gonna run these through the planer, and then we'll run them through the joiner, at least one edge, and then we'll square everything off, and then we'll start ripping strips. Ran it through the planer and the joiner. I just did one edge on the joiner, because then now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna take my guide here. I'm gonna measure probably 1.5 inches, because that's how I want my thickness of the board to be, is 1.5 inches. So I'll measure 1.5 inches from the blade to the guard, and then I'll start running strips. Only reason why I did one clean edge on the joiner was because that's the edge that's going to be on the guide, and then I'm just going to cut and cut and cut until I can't anymore. I got, how many do I have here? I got 5 strips of walnut, and I got about 9 strips of maple. There it is on the clamps. I'm gonna put this aside, let it dry overnight, and then we'll get back to it tomorrow. So it's the next day now. I'm gonna pull the board off the clamps and then we'll see how it looks and then just go from there. Plans are going to scrape off any excess glue that might have squeezed out. It doesn't look like I have a lot, which is nice, so that means less work to do. And then I'll put the planer back on the Shopsmith, run it through the planer, get everything smooth, and then after that we will cut the edges, cut it to length, make the edges all smooth, and yeah, and then we will put a routered edge on both sides and put some oil on it. So let's get to it. Not too bad. It's very flat. Planed both sides. It's looking real smooth. Nice and round. We'll get this sanded with 220 grit and it should come out pretty good. And here we are. She's all sanded, finished at 220 grit. Smoothed all the edges out. Everything's very level. It's extremely smooth. This board is about 16.5 inches long, 10 1/8 of an inch. Guys, once again, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something along the way. If you'd like to support me more, best way to do that is hit the subscribe button down below and also like this video. If you like any of the stuff that I make here and want to buy anything, I'll have my Etsy link down below in the description as well. We'll see you guys next week.